random activities, none of them really linking to maybe what the best case scenario is.
Yeah.
Then you realize that your do's, your guided inquiries, are only those experiences and not which activities that make children see the value. Then it may be just 3. Yeah. You'll say 3, but you can keep repeating them.
Yeah. There are impactful experiences which will stay with
3 guided inquiries rather than 10 activities.
Yes.
10 activities mein Nikki, nobody will understand at the end of the day. They'll say,
So
I'm having a great time making that model. I'm not learning anything through that, right? So your guided inquiries are chosen wisely because every time you as a teacher are adding the guided inquiry, does it enhance the best case scenario? Are the children making connections to the best case scenario? That's why the visibility of the best case scenario should always be in the classroom. How does making that, telling me the process by which you've understood the experiment add value to you? Tell me. So when you're having a conversation with the whole group, they'll say, oh, it makes us see sequence. All right, sequence. What else the other reasons? How might this be a useful practice? Oh, because it helps me, I can go back and repeat the experiment. Okay, that means it helps me replicate the order. So once you do that, that rubric is there, right there. Okay, so that means the criteria. Everybody says, okay, that's the reason why. Anybody else has anything to add value? So does it add value by putting it this way? Yes. So even something like a lab journal, something as one might say as dry as filling it up, can actually have meaning. And so that adds value to yourself. This time it's adding value to yourself, but it might be useful to say it. So when you do it in such a systematic manner, who will it add value to? Ma'am, maybe somebody I want to give it to my peer, and they can repeat their
refer to that
right there. So when we don't have the conversations about how they see value and how it adds value, it doesn't make sense. I'm putting myself into the story. I'm not saying this is for you, and it's nothing to me. We're all in this learning journey together, and therefore we make it. So when you have the template that you decide, this template then gets put into the lab. But this template is a very important. So when I say why is it of value, how will my children see value? That is your imagine and do, and then the share is how will they add value. This portion is very, very important because then I take this only if it fits into my discovery. If it's just a fun activity, it's a waste of time. They can do it on their own time. Right? And in this, is there enough rigor? Yes. Is there ample relevance? Is there a relationship? So your 3 hours is actually a part of this fellow. 3 hours. Right? That means have I given ample opportunities for the rigor to emerge? This writing is happening. But I'm not doing it as an activity. It's part of the experience that connects to the imagine. So when we talk about how learning is friends with each other, so you can make that how the math cannot go independently. No, math is not independent of language. So suddenly, right? All these relationships are being built. So this, because we recognize that currently our children, and it's not just in bio that they are struggling with this. Yes, it's this current scenario where children is true for any subject. We are just understanding them and designing our experiences to ensure that these investments get stronger. So the competency is that if I'm more competent socially, I'm more likely to get along with somebody else. I'm more likely to be successful in other spaces. If I'm more competent emotionally, I have a better grip of who I am. My self-awareness goes up. I'm not destroyed when I get a bad feedback. I'm not totally elevated, so I don't go to these.
I know how to express emotions.
I'm in control. I know that if I'm getting sad or something or losing it, I know what to do to get myself out of it. So, and I'm telling you another thing. If we don't include this, long term we can't fight. So we say how we feel is how we fight. So if I don't feel that I have been factored into the learning, I might lose. So all of this comes in. So this is your part of your key stage 2's every plan. So no longer does this. Do you understand? So if I don't do this, I am taking this one bit and saying only citizenship.
No,
we're talking about friendship. No. Now suddenly we are saying it cuts across all our stories
and everything what we said.
Then I'll realize now this will all change, because this, if you're telling me it's only for citizenship time now, suddenly I'll recognize that the amount of my guided inquiries, my do's have to be met to this story here. So this is how, when you are looking at your plan, make it? Yeah. So what I was thinking that you open up your TFU, Tana. Show me your TFU plan. Can there be one question, Kiran, because I was also working with Hekal to look at their client project for butterfly that they will be getting into, and we did this in the morning, but of course this is pretty much in detail that allows. But the way we were also looking, I went back to our initial dialogue about those things, that the hotspots and the bright spots. What is your feel about your class right now? Will there be? There are a lot of bright spots with that class. Currently, we couldn't grade a fourth, Nargis wala batch. But we couldn't find any hotspot as of now. But it is okay, right? Even if we have bright spot, I'm building on that bright spots right now. And I'm giving them an opportunity to explore.
Then we do cartography. This is your cartography.
Yeah.
Okay, this is mapping.
Yeah.
So what's happening?
Yeah.
So the whole action of cartography means why is it important to look at both? The bright spots should be energized and the hotspots are the opportunities for change.
Yeah.
So analysis is a great strategy when you're struggling with, say, what's the best can you look at? Look at it from outside domain. Can a team be like from we talk about excellence also from the Australian cricket team? What elements of an Australian cricket team can we mimic? Because apparently they were at one point considered that the fittest, the best team in the world. What does that mean? What did they have to do? What was the coach doing? How often did they meet? How did they raise the bar? All of those elements, if you can be concerned, it's easier for you to say, oh, I can be like that. Oh, I can.
Yes,
What is the I can? You see something and say, oh, I can do that. Sometimes when you don't even know what I can look like, when you say, what is better? Be better. Better hota kya hai?
Yeah, what
I
is
don't
good
understand
like?
that. So, but when you have something
To get
to be inspired by, that gives you great sort of template and a starting point for your best case scenario.
If I'm looking at a client project where I'm equally applying my design thinking, am I going to have my field based on, first of all, knowing my student, what are my class?
This is your client project. That should do. That means you've understood that because they need to be challenged or whatever, so you need the application, the cognitive. See, why do I say cognitive competency? Which is why is the fifth one? Fifth one is not subject knowledge competency. It's cognitive competence. That means I see meaning and application. Therefore, client project is so important.
become stronger.
This is just a subject. This is just knowledge, information, and thinking.
Facts.
Cognitive competency which I'm developing is the ability to see it in real world. That means can I fashion products of use, right? Therefore, I have to mandatorily have client projects. This became repeatedly my guided inquiry. How do I get you to get along with each other? How do you get along to listen to and respect? Then suddenly everybody signed on to that project leader. Hriday became a fantastic project leader. Chinar was selected. It was wonderful.
And they were going to each other.
Yamini was great. They then suddenly lifted. Suddenly they were doing it for meaning, not for a people. The first public scrutiny was terrible because they were still because it's so habit, no? The habit of negative behavior becomes so strong to break. Yeah, it's habit, no?
They don't
It's
even
habit.
realize that
Right.
they're having that kind of thing.
Then when from that Sunday to the following Wednesday, big shift. So what we're realizing is that even Monisha, I think her thing to keep coming back is that it was not just a task to be done.
Yeah, not a business.
We have to keep going back because sometimes we're very good in doing the task. We're saying, okay, we got the client, we got the public scrutiny, we got the jury. It's the glue in between that makes the difference. It is not just each of those pieces. It's that glue, and the glue comes from investment. I keep saying a beautiful best case scenario is when the person leaves that space, what will he say? If it's a restaurant, we ask him to write the review of in Zomato. We ask them your best case scenario is writing innovative dishes, smiling waiters. So that's what you do. How will you ensure that that now gets done?
So from your best case scenario, how do you find it?
So
When it's just like a sports day wala, and they write it out.
Right now, even if you don't articulate just, but we basically say that capturing it in an essence allows a very nice.
Took my grade 6 with them. I said they have to buy in this item. So then they said, oh yeah, that clicks. Why do you buy a thing? When you see values, I said you have to put it across in a manner that they buy in, and it doesn't become like a blame game.
That's your analogy in a best case scenario. How will you buy into? So she used the word buy, right? So when you have critical words in your imagine, Nikki, it gives you that grand opening ceremony. What does grand mean?
How does it look like?
Grand can't be four
What do we
balloons.
do for that? Yeah.
When we say that, right? What does grand mean? That means you have to have a visual. That means they say like the Olympic opening ceremony. Suddenly they have a visual or an exemplar for what you look.
And then they can exchange and say, oh, they have lights, but we can do balloons. How much is grand? 10 balloons, 20 balloons, 100 balloons. That's the do. Then they start realizing that, then when they have reason, they say, no, 100 balloons makes it look grand. But yeah, you can't say 4 balloons and then say, I expect grand opening ceremony. So don't think that, "Arey, kuch nahi dikh raha hai." Arey, you might not see it in your time. It has tremendous weight. It will eventually take its fruits. Right? So that's the faith we need to have in by design. You're making it happen.